Alright, so we're in a different room this time, or a different area for this podcast. Testing out a new setup for potentially the future for an idea. Sorry if you hear something outside, it's just a snowblower because got a little snow last night after there was a foot plus dropped on New York. So it's been a long couple of days. But hey, it was good because All-Star break has been this weekend, and the Skills Challenge was last night. I didn't catch a lot of it, but I caught a lot of clips. Kreider did good. And then Utica, the game I was watching, 4-3 overtime Laval. Now, we'll get into that. So, this is where I'm at. They went in, lost to Laval Wednesday, and then won last night in the 3-2. It was before 3-2. I wasn't able to attend either game. There was no play-by-play for either game on the podcast, Twitter. I didn't catch much of the first Laval game. I did catch 90% of the second. I missed some of the first. But it was a good game played by both sides, both games. Laval really showed up in hostile territory, and Utica vengeance game 2. And not only that, it helped that recently Colton White had just been sent back down to Utica. It's good to have him back. He's been a good part with the defense when he's there. And we haven't had him down in a while, so it's been kind of an adjustment to move around the lines and everything. But it's good to see him step up. It's good to see him back here for a little bit. And you can't go wrong with having Colton back down. There was another move that was made recently. Nico Dawes was brought up to New Jersey, and Akira Schmid came back down. I think it's going to be short term because Schmidt's been their guy to call up. Daws isn't. Daws is young. I don't think, and I've talked with a few people on this, he's not as NHL ready right now as Akira is. Mostly just because, Daws may be a better guy, but Schmidt's the guy you're moving to the NHL right now. And I think part of the reason they pulled him down is just to give him time, because he really hasn't done much up in the NHL, as far as I've heard. So he's probably back down to shake off some rust, get some time back down here, and also to get Daws up to the NHL and kind of just, he's not going to play, but just to bring him up and kind of see, all right, where are you at? And when you come back up here, where have you been at? How are you doing after the injury, kind of? Because of the week before, from his hip injury, apparently an injury that likes to happen every once in a while in the Devils organization, but he's back. I'm thinking they're bringing him up to test him out and everything at a little bit of a higher level, and he'll be back soon, I think. But you never know with the NHL. You really don't. Finally, they have game recaps. That's nice for once. But, yep, it's a box score. I like having box scores for these. So the first Laval game, which was February 2nd, that was 3 days ago. Was that Thursday? It was Wednesday, because I almost could have gone to that game. So, Riley and Holtz scored for Utica, and the assists on the first one for Riley Walsh the assist went to Holtz and Gambardella, and on Holtz's goal the assist went to Greer and Gather. I say it wrong every time, and I guarantee I said it wrong again. Then Laval knocked off 1 in the second, and then 3 straight in the third to kind of put the game out of reach. Now, Utica took 14 shots in the first period of that game. They didn't they didn't go above 10 the next 2 periods to end up with 27 to Laval's 25. They had 10, 11, and 4 in their periods. Laval is 1 of 2 on the penalty or on the power play, Utica was 0 of 3. Utica had 6 penalty minutes, 3 infractions. Laval had 8 penalty minutes, 4 infractions. Alright. Nico Dawes had... Actually, one of those was an empty netter. That must have been the one that was, like, within a couple seconds of the end. Yep, it was within 17 seconds of the end. That was an empty netter. Nico Dawes ended up logging 59 minutes, 18 seconds. Seconds of empty net, and they scored with 17 of them left. He was shot on 24 times, saved 21 of them. Not a horrible night for Daws. I mean, it could have been worse. Brian Flynn ended up laying 6 shots on net. Zett laid 4 on net. Holtz laid 3 on net. DeLeo laid 2 on net. And a couple others laid 1 on net. So, penalties were on Belzile of Laval for holding 327, and then hooking on Badek, another minor. They were all committed minors. At 2:17 a second, and then I'm gonna butcher this. Yolanen with a tripping 5:39 in the second. Badek again a roughing 18:24, and then a roughing to Utica. I say it wrong every time, and I guess I know how it's said, but I can never say it right. He actually got 2 roughings, so we got a double minor, and then Vukcevic tripping 2 minutes at 10:57 in the third. The only Utica penalty in the third, and the only penalty in the third. Yeah, it was a quiet night from a certain guys. Leo surprisingly only put 2 on net. I'm looking through this whole score. I haven't looked at the whole thing. LeBerg put 0 on net. He didn't log goal, assist, plus minus shot, penalty minute, nothing. On the other side, it's more of the same. Guys with either 3, 2, or 1 shots on net. It was pretty spread out with who got shots on net on the Laval side. And Belzile actually had 2 goals. He was 1 away from Ball. What did Kevin Ball do? Why is his name highlighted? No idea. Oh, starting lineup. So the starting lineup for this game ended up being Rousseau and Kevin Ball on the defense, DeLeo, Holtz, and Gambardella on the forward line, and Daws obviously in goal. And then last night's game, great game, went to overtime. So, there was more penalties called because of a fight in OT. So, here's what happened. First period, Quellet, 2-minute interference for Laval. And then Tisdale boarding 2 minutes, first period at 10:17. So 9:03 and 10:17, so those were all just about a minute apart. And then Badek, unsportsmanlike, 2-minute minor. And then Kevin Ball and Borkway. I wish I was there to see Ball actually fought somebody. Both got 5-minute majors for fighting at 16:10 in the second. And then Grollo, I guarantee I said it wrong, high sticking, 19:36 in the second. And then Colton White got holding at 10:10 in the third, 2-minute minor. And overtime, 5-minute fighting, 21 seconds. Badek also got game misconduct fighting other than during periods of game. Fairbrother got 5 minutes for fighting and a 10-minute misconduct. Martel got a 5-minute fighting and 10-minute misconduct. Apparently there was a 10-minute coach 10-minute misconduct. I don't know who served it, if anyone served it. Gambardella, 5-minute fighting, 10-minute misconduct, and 10-minute misconduct secondary altercation. And then McGrath had a fighting call. 5 minutes. Of course McGrath fought. McGrath's one of those guys. There was one game earlier this year where he literally went up behind a guy, or threw gloves, went up behind a guy and speared him. Greatest thing I've ever seen. Just because I love seeing McGrath on the ice because he's gonna, he's gonna throw hands, and it's hilarious. I love watching him. At the end of the day, Utica Comets won 4-3. They put 15 on net in the first, 7 in the second, 12 in the third, and it took one shot for them to win in overtime. One shot. Utica was 1 of 3 on the power play, and Laval was 0 of 2. 49 minutes, 18 infractions for Utica, and 56 minutes, 10 infractions for Laval. A total of 9 points were awarded. Laval in terms of goals and assists. And looking at the goals, first and second goal in the first period, about 4 minutes and 20 seconds apart, were A.J. Greer. Fear the Greer. And one of them, the second one was a power play. Assists on the first Greer goal at 14:27 go to Alexander Holtz and Frederick Gather. In the second goal went to Gambardella and Zet, the assists, and it was a power play. The first Laval goal scored in the second, 13:56 by Dello. The second Laval goal and the third score, the first one in the third, the second total scored by, I'm going to butcher this, Schuneman. And then Holtz put in the overtime goal to win it at 21 seconds. Assists go to Riley Walsh and Gather. Why is it that whenever we get a guy that gets to 2, they can never hit a heady? Ever? Holtz did it, I think it was last week. I know DeLeo did it last week. Holtz did it last week or 2 weeks ago. Both got up to 2 assists, couldn't get the hat trick. It's always, I haven't seen a hat trick in a while. Every time I'll see a guy get up to 2, and at this point I've gone $20 on he doesn't score the hat trick. Just because I know, like, it's happened so many times that I can't even. Looking at this, Schmidt was in goal for that. He got called on really early in the day. So actually, he played good. 22 shots, 20 saves. Laval's goalie, Polton, 35 shots on goal, 32 saves. Okay. Alright, so Colton White took 2 shots. Brian Flynn took 2. Gambardella took 4. Greer took 5. Zet took 5. Foote took 5. Took. Schmelzer took 1. Gavier took 2. Gorleo took 2. And Ball took 1. Take a shot, surprisingly. Actually, Holtz had 6. I don't know. I might have skipped over that. McGrath didn't put a shot on goal. And Riley Walsh didn't put a shot on goal. Usually he'll have 1 or 2. LeBerge didn't have 1. And a couple others, including Telvidi. I thought Telvidi would have put 1 on. So, Gaither had 2 assists. Walsh had 1 assist. Zet had 1 assist. Greer had 2 goals. Gambardella had 1 assist and 1 assist. Holtz had 1 and 1. And your starting lineup ended up being Holtz, Zet, Calvini, and then Kevin Ball and Riley Walsh on the defense. Schmidt is your goalie. Now, tonight you're probably going to see kind of the same thing. You'll probably see Holtz. I'm surprised DeLeo wasn't on the same line. DeLeo didn't even play. Did DeLeo get moved up? DeLeo might have gotten moved up and I wasn't paying attention. Hold on, let me check this, because there was no DeLeo last night. I think I noticed that too. I was like, wait, no DeLeo. What? And then I completely forgot about it, because 8 different people decided to text me, but... Okay. Let's see if this loads up. Oh, tonight's Rock the Rink. I forget about that every once in a while, that tonight's Rock the Rink, and I'm actually going. You'll get a play-by-play tonight from that, and I'll actually talk about it. I find it funny that the Utica Twitter page tweeted out, "Hey Laval, you forgot some on the ice," and was now. They'll do that every once in a while. They'll forget that they forget they'll forget their L. I can't talk Tonight's not the night for a podcast, I guess. Wow. Yeah, that's the only thing they really said was Akira's back down and what's his name's back up. Nico. Did New Jersey say anything? Actually, I'll check if it's in their official transactions. It's probably not, and I'm probably gonna go. What are you gonna do? I wasn't prepared for this because I completely forgot about this. If I was ready for this, yep, DeLeo. No, DeLeo. Nope, that's old. I hate this right now. Yeah, it says nothing about him going up. The only thing that's involved even a winger that's happened, the last thing was putting McLeod on IR. Undisclosed injury. Of course it's an undisclosed injury. It's always an undisclosed injury. They never tell the full story. Actually say something. It probably won't. Nope. Nope. Alright. No idea why there was no DeLeo. I'll have to get the inside scoop on that. Then there was a couple other games to talk about. And I might actually put video on for him. And if I do, my bad. For the horrible camera work, that's my bad. I know I have great camera work. I mean, horrible. The thing also is, we always sit up high. It's always a high spot. Not always, but sometimes. I like the high spots. And now that I say that, we're probably going to get put low tonight for Rock Around the Rink. They were away at the Monsters, away at the Americans. That got canceled, I think. Alright, so these are the two games to talk about. It is the Providence game and then the Checkers game. So, they went in and lost 3-4 in a shootout against Charlottesville Checkers, the team for St. Louis. Yeah, actually, that's old news. I'm not going to cover that. Ugh, this is what I get for missing a week. But I will say this. Tonight's going to be an interesting night. I'll have videos taken from the game. I'll have an after-game report because I got the time for once. Reports for some of those Comets games. I'll think about it. But let's review tonight's game, shall we? So, if I can type fast enough. They play Springfield tonight. Yep, they play Springfield Thunderbirds tonight. I find it funny every time that they're the Thunderbirds. I don't get it going from St. Louis Blues to Springfield Thunderbirds, but it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be an NHL team, right? So, yeah, I don't like this right now. ESPN's not going to give me anything because it's AHL. I hate trying to look for a couple things like the odds on this game. Okay, I finally got it. For once. Alright, come on. So, handicap's 1.5. In favor of who? That's my question. The over-under is 5.5. I like that one. I like those odds. I would take the over on that one. If Utica keeps scoring like normal. Yep, take the over. But got really heated at the end. With that, I think they'll either again come out hard hitting, or they're going to be very like relaxed and kind of off a little from hitting. Which either way, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. But Holtz has kind of gotten back on track recently. We'll see if he can continue the streak. We'll see if somebody can actually score a hat trick. I can guarantee you not, and I'll say that when I tweet. You're not going to see a hat trick, but I'd like to. I'd like to, but you're probably not. Keep an eye out on, if DeLeo's not back, keep an eye on Colton White and Alexander Holtz being on the same line. Not only that, Riley Walsh, keep an eye on him. And as always, keep an eye on Kevin Ball, because as Ball's Army says on Twitter, and at the games, because sometimes like I say right next to him, Ball's out. They're awesome. Go check them out. They're always fun to be around, even if I'm not directly associated with the group or indirectly associated with the group. I just still like sitting there and yelling it because it's funny. But we'll see what goes down. Ball is always somebody to watch because he's funny. I hope he actually fights tonight. Now that we go, it's going to be relaxed. Nobody's going to fight. McGrath's barely going to play. Watch. I want McGrath to fight. I haven't seen him fight in so long. But the joke is I always like to watch them fight. That's the running joke. It's not as partially true. We'll go with partially, okay? Not fully. Not even close to fully. Partially. But yeah, we'll see what they can do tonight. Let me check on Springfield. I know they're third in their division, but I don't remember what their shots or their point totals are. Yeah, this will help me shed light a little bit with stats, which is nice. Yeah, they're third behind Hershey and Providence in their division. And it won't load, or it'll load slow. And I'm just sitting here going, come on, let's go. Actually, no. Yeah, Hartford, Hershey. Did I say Providence? That was not updated. They are behind Hartford and Hershey. And they're third in their division. So, Springfield currently has 50 points. Has a record of 22, 13, and 22, 13, 5, and 5. Although I don't know. Would that be technically 22, 13, 5, and 1? I'm pretty sure it is. 50 points, .610 winning percentage. They have 16 road wins. That's road wins, right? It should be road wins. I could be wrong. I'm not used to looking at NHL standings. I'm used to looking at NFL standings. You can tell. You can definitely tell. And then I press the button and it's got to reload. I hate this website so much. I sound like somebody I know every time I do that. And I'm going to send him this clip and go, yep, I sound like you. Because he'll do that randomly at times, like just be energetic. I try to tone myself down for these. Yep, Springfield. 133 goals for, 131 against, so a 2-goal differential. They are on a 3-0-1-0 streak right now. Their past 10 is 4-3-3-0. Penalty minutes is 518. They are the second most in their division behind Hershey. And they're what? Third, fourth. They are sixth in the AHL in penalty minutes. I passed Utica on there, didn't I? Yep. They've got about 50 to 60 more than Utica does. Almost 70. No, 60 sounds right. So, Utica, they're going to walk into Utica. Utica's allowed 95 goals and scored 136. So they're kind of on par with scoring, but Springfield's goaltending is not as good at times, but it's also certain other factors that play into it. But at the end of the day, they're still a tough opponent. It could be worse. You could be playing Hartford, who beat you. Yeah, buddy. But, all right, let's cut over to the NHL. I love covering 3 teams because my podcasts are at least 25 minutes long, 30 minutes long. Podcast or my NCAA podcast. Nope. So February 1st was the Rangers' last game versus the Panthers. They dropped 5 goals. Reeves scored his 3rd of the season and his second game with a goal. That I thought that's notable because if Revo scores on you of all people, you're probably going to lose. And that's the rebounding off a night where they only won by 1 against the Kraken and the coaching staff wasn't happy with that. I don't blame them. I really don't. And after that, they were coming off against a tough loss against the Wild, which they should have won. That was Friday the 28th of last week. They should have won that game. That was not goaltender interference on Strom. That puck was in the net. No goaltender interference. Should have been a 3-3 game going to overtime on Henrik night. And you know it. We know it. That was not goaltender interference. If you say it was, you're wrong. Rangers are still one of the best in the Metro. I thought I would note that. There's a reason we're one of the best in the Metro right now, but that's beside the point. That's all I'm going to say on those games, because I'm going to get caught up on the Wild game, and then there's going to be 20 minutes of me talking about the Wild game, the next 20 minutes. But let's look at the Hartford games. Got too much up to date on Hartford recently, but let's look at this. Shoveling yesterday sucks. I have like 5 different sore muscles right now. I thought that I just got a problem with my wrist, so I had to note that. They're coming off a 3-2 OT loss on the same Springfield Thunderbirds that Utica's going to play. So watch, now Utica's going to play them and win, and somebody in the comments are going to go, yeah, but Utica beat Springfield, and you guys lost, or Hartford lost to Springfield, so Utica's better than Hartford. Don't even go there, because that's a whole different conversation. But 3-2, very close loss. Brodzinski put his 8th straight goal per game in the net. I guarantee. I didn't say that the way I wanted to say it, but whatever. And I'm happy for the kid. Fixing a thing down my mic. Because, it does this every once in a while where one of the things that holds it moves. But it should be good. It looks off again. I have no idea why, but it looks off. Not even going to comment. And then Wednesday they went and won in a 3-2 shootout against Hershey. And Saturday they lost 4-0 against Lehigh Valley. Not our greatest game. But I will say Hartford, they're having a little bit of a decently tough streak. They're hoping to rebound tonight and do some more winning. And we'll see. They're hoping to rebound tonight and win and get a streak back going. I want to see a streak going. I want to see what Hartford can do again. It's tough to get them because you gotta get the games, and I can't really get the games. And when they're free on AHL TV, I'll watch them, but that's few and far between. If I'm even home to watch them. But anyways, that'll cut for me at about 30 minutes. Good. Sorry if the atmosphere felt there, or not the atmosphere. The recording sounds different or anything. I am in a different room, so it echoes a little bit more. I have a lot more space for my voice to travel and move. So the way it sounds to me sounds a little different, so the way it sounds to you is probably going to sound a little different in here. But yeah, if you like this, If you like how it sounds in here, trust me, we'll have more of this. But yeah, anyways, you know how. After the game tonight, with or tomorrow, with a recap on a video. I'll see you guys later.